Hey everyone, this is, what are we doing? Oh yeah, IoT Coffee Talk, special edition.
Special CES
live
edition, yes.
from CES 2025, and we're here at the Bellagio.
Yes, very fancy,
Yes.
fancy schmancy place.
Fancy schmancy.
Yes.
And I'm here with Pete Bernard, one of our IoT Coffee Talkers, and Pete is with Leonard Lee,
There you go.
one of the IoT Coffee Talkers, right?
Fantastic.
So, hey, it's good to
Yeah.
see you here in
Cheers.
Vegas.
Another long
Cheers.
day of
Yeah.
new
Cheers,
inventions,
everybody.
new capabilities, new technologies. A lot of new
Yeah.
vacuum cleaners, right?
Yes, lots of vacuum cleaners. It's kind of ridiculous. So, what do you think about the show? Oh, wait. Before we get started, remember, we got to do our disclaimer, right? Yeah, we'd like to tell everyone, take it seriously at your own risk.
There you go.
And as we say, if you do something stupid based on anything that we say, it's entirely your fault.
On your own.
You're on your own,
Yeah.
yes. And
Yeah.
you must point the finger at yourself
There you go.
and deal with it, okay? So with that, enjoy our little conversation here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of cool like sensor-based solutions out there. I saw a cool solution to detect whether the car pulling into the EV charging spot was actually an EV. It was like a sensor that detected magnetic
really?
patterns.
Yeah.
And so if you pulled your ICE car into an EV slot, it would send off warning lights and stuff. So it would keep like only the right cars in there. I saw that. I also saw it was a company in France, and they had instrumented oysters. They had put sensors on oysters to detect the quality of the water. So basically on the oyster movement,
really?
you could detect how high quality the water was. The only issue is you had to glue a bunch of sensors on oysters. That was the only gotcha. But
Oh my God.
other than that, it seemed like a good idea.
Yeah.
A lot of sensors out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but it's got the sensors might be cheap, but it might cost like a pretty penny, right?
Well, imagine the cost of gluing
Oh, yeah.
a sensor on each oyster.
I know.
But no, I think part of it is like sensors, sensor networks, AI on the edge. The stuff.
Yeah, like
people are
full-on IoT.
doing stuff. Yeah, they're
Well,
doing real stuff.
You know what? Here's a thing. I think IoT is going to be a big thing. Not in like the ridiculous, silly way that everyone thought it was going to be when we had that first hump of nonsense.
Yeah.
I think it's actually going to be pretty practical, and the necessity is going to be really driven by this need to make provide context to these AI XYZs, right?
Right.
Applications. And so we'll probably see a bump. I think, there may be a little bit of a bubblish type dynamic that plays out, but, I think there's going to be a revival. But the nice thing is, here's a cool thing. I noticed that the AI that works that we always talk about is actually getting some traction. I think the halo effect of generative AI hype has benefited that whole, sort of foundational AI layer.
Right.
And I think that can drive a healthy, I think that's important, healthy demand for IoT type solutions, because everyone talks about data, but it's not data that's as important as being able to establish context. And yes,
Right.
obviously data is going to be an input into it,
Right.
but you need to be able to translate all that into a contextual set of information, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think a lot of folks are realizing, if we want to get to good AI applications, we need to establish that contextual corpus that's real time and is able to support
a little
the
more
functionality and all that crap that you're trying to do.
Focused on the solution. So
Yeah.
seeing a lot of working the tech back from the problem, the solution to the tech. There was actually, in the Venetian, there was like a really cool pavilion from Japan. A lot of folks from Japan doing innovative solutions, and it was like aging in place solutions and all kinds of really cool stuff where you're using AI, you know, for like very good like real world solutions and like working back from that. Somewhat of a counterpoint to the vacuums with the robot arm that comes out and picks up the socks. Just kind of like the poster child for like what the hell.
Like, come on, you know, let's be honest. Picking up socks is not a trivial thing. It's actually pretty hard to do. It's just that, you know,
but it only has one arm and only picks up one sock, and everyone knows there's always two socks. So now you got to get two vacuums, one picking up each sock.
Right.
But no, I saw a lot of cool, like, you know, practical implementations, I would say, which is really good to see. You know, not too much pie in the sky. I saw Trek introduced a mountain bike that had AI and the sensors. So you could, I think they even said there was like an LLM on it. I don't know what that means. You like talk to it for the gears or something. But you're seeing like mountain bikes taking all this sensor data and doing like gearing and other things on the fly, you know, to kind of smooth the ride out stuff. So that's like really cool. Now the tech is like here. People are starting to use it in some practical applications. So
you know, I mean, you know, the weird thing is I thought there was going to be a lot more of like sort of this agentic stuff. You know, at least people like tinkering with it, putting it out, and trying to create a buzz around it, right? And there wasn't as much as I thought there would be, even though, you know, it looks like, you know, Samsung is gonna bring Bali to market. I don't know if you know about that. It's like a little ball thing that looks like
I think I saw that. It's like a Bixby,
like a little droid, right? Yeah. And then TCL has one. It's called My or Hey this or that. Hey AI something. And so I think there's a lot of Chinese companies that are kind of fast following that concept. And you know, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think they're kind of cool. Whether or not they're gonna get traction, we'll see. But I mean, I do see that they could have a benefit because, you know, think about it, you know, security, home security.
Right.
Having one of those little doodads like running around and having at least enough intelligence and you know, capability to respond to any kind of, let's say, audio, some kind of physical or
well, I remember the Astro. Remember the Astro robot from Amazon? That was kind of ahead of its time, right? We kind of patrol around and like send up its little camera and.
Yeah, but you know, one of the things that I also started to see and I heard about quite a bit is well, you know, there is actually home. You know, the smart home thing was like really big this year. That's like one of the things that really stood out. If you listen to the whether it was the LG or the Samsung or you know, like Amazon, you know, either press events, keynotes, or even just the stuff that they're showing in their booths, even Panasonic and a lot of the Japanese brands,
right,
and the Chinese brand. I mean, there's a huge focus on smart home. You know, and then creating these intelligent hubs, AI hubs, right? But some of these guys are actually looking at figuring out how do we keep the data resident within the residence,
right?
And I think that's a big deal. And you know, what's really cool and encouraging is that there is a sense of you know, priority around security and most importantly privacy. And that is like, I think, a huge mindset shift that's happened that I think is really, really a good thing, you know? And now these guys are moving toward, you know, like these privacy first architectures that, hey, Debbie Reynolds, you and I have been talking about this for years, right? that's actually now starting to set in, and
Yeah.
we're starting to see a lot of these big brands that are trying to come to the market with this next generation of smart
Right.
home solutions, putting that at the forefront, but then also being thoughtful in how do we architect this thing. I mean, we still have to get under the weeds and down to like the second and third level underneath all the press releases and stuff, but at least they're talking about it.
I think a lot of like you said, like the home stuff, maybe some of it was introduced a few years ago and didn't work very well. And now the silicon has gotten more performant, the cameras are better, the sensors are better, now you have generative AI to do more, analysis. And so it's the same idea, but now the implementation's better.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be, so then I think end users get more value out of it and hopefully buy more of it. But sometimes it's like, sometimes ideas are a little ahead of the tech, right? Where it's like, oh, let's have a fridge that counts how much milk you have. And it's like, well, it actually doesn't work very well. Yeah. But now it's like, actually works better.
You're talking too smart. Have a drink.
Oh, okay.
Jeez. What's your problem? No, it's really good. You know what's really sad is we're gonna have other IoT Coffee Talk hosts here. I mean, Rob, obviously, it would have been nice if you could make it out here because you're usually out here.
That's right.
Stephanie, we missed out on you. Steve, you didn't show up, dude.
Missing in action.
Yeah, it's your fault. Blame yourself, man. Pete already gave you like the where we are and all that stuff. So, but we love you.
Yes.
We miss all of them. But it's just Pete and I holding down the fort here.
There you go, holding down the fort.
Yeah.
Another couple of days.
That whole smart home thing. It is weird that there is this kind of research. And last week. I don't know. Were you on last week?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. Yeah, this happened after I dropped off, but what is it? Rob started talking about Appletown. And all kinds of
that. I
ridiculous-
remember that. Actually, I think I was on for that.
Yeah, but you guys.
Appletown.
Yeah.
Well, I think the idea was Apple was going to start to get into more of the home.
The home
like
thing.
the Ring doorbell type stuff and thermostats and stuff.
But see, that's why you have to watch IoT Coffee Talk, because we didn't know that they were going to be talking about this stuff this week. Ends up being like, so, props to Debbie Reynolds, because you're the one that actually brought it up. Asked, hey, Coffee Talk guys, what do you think about this thing? You know? And then, privacy was also at the center of a lot of that discussion.
No, it was very prescient.
So,
although we didn't predict the vacuum with the arm.
No, I don't think anyone could predict that.
I think we nailed it otherwise, but and actually now vacuums are like climbing on the windows, or like washing windows.
Oh yeah, man.
They're like refilling the mop automatically.
Yeah.
And like that, my number one takeaway from the show is that my vacuum is old.
Oh, you're making me jealous, man.
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I think like you're seeing I think a lot of this tech that's like not just prototypes now, but they're like actual production things that like work pretty well. So we'll see if people buy it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm gonna help. I'm gonna give it a shout out to Rob. I'm gonna try to represent on your behalf. So obviously everybody heard about like the Jensen's NVIDIA
digits.
Yeah, that thingy. Well, no, the whole thing. And for the record, all you have to do is go to LinkedIn and check his post. Rob thought it was killer. So just want everyone to know that. So Rob, if you were here, I'm sure you would have said that. So we're gonna make that note on your behalf.
Yes. And I was saying, like, one of the cool things, I got a lot of interest in this digits announcement.
Yeah.
About this supercomputer on your desk. And my take was that it's actually a great way for NVIDIA to kind of work around all the hyperscalers. So basically, instead of like doing development on Azure or GCP or AWS, you do development on this NVIDIA box, and then you deploy it to any NVIDIA-friendly cloud you want. And so you don't actually need to be an Azure developer now to do AI or an AWS developer. So it's like an end run around the hyperscalers to make it an NVIDIA metal to cloud experience. That's what I think Digits is all about. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, here's my take. I think people, he said supercomputing, but it's not supercomputing. I mean, just because you have Blackwell in there doesn't mean that you have a supercomputer, right?
Sure.
And, when we look at like the generative AI training workloads, it really depends on what you're trying to shoot for. So if you're doing like fine tuning, maybe like post training, maybe. I think it entirely depends.
Depends, right? Obviously, yeah, your scenario.
Yeah.
I think it's just a cool way for developers. Like, I don't think it's ever going to get commercialized. It's not going to get deployed.
I think if you're doing certain types of fine tuning activities, maybe it will work for that.
Yeah.
But and definitely inference stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no.
But maybe it'll fit in like sort of that overall development chain for training a model,
right.
and then kind of shrinking it down into a edge AI footprint.
Good. Yeah, I mean, people use NVIDIA Orins and stuff all the time now too.
Yeah.
That being said, though, with the Digits, like all you can do is like put your name on a waiting list. Like you can't actually buy it yet.
Yeah, and just so that our audience is clear, look, Blackwell. Just because you say Blackwell doesn't mean that all of a sudden you have an NVL72. Level
rack mounted
thingy on a tiny little box. That's not it at all. I mean, basically what is Blackwell? It's basically two Hopper chips stitched together using CoWoS, and it's like 1 + 1 = 2.5, right? So, look, I mean, and then if you look at the entire system, like GB200, NVL72, and NVIDIA, you got to come up with like more concise names.
Yeah, they got
it's like doesn't roll off the tongue all that easily. But yeah, go ahead. But yeah, you have to think about this stuff in the right frame of mind,
right
and
context.
Understanding the architecture of these systems. And when they say GPU, what does the GPU actually mean?
Right.
And it gets really confusing.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's cool dev box for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's super interesting reference / NVIDIA is going to go and do their own thing kind of box.
But it's not a Copilot PC though.
Oh, come on, dude. If you know what? Here's the interesting thing about that. It is like basically Jensen kind of giving the middle finger. I didn't do that. I have to edit my finger out.
Yeah.
Basically giving the middle finger to the MPU. So there you have it.
There you go.
Right?
Exciting.
I don't think Jensen's a big fan of the MPU.
No. I mean, he's got his own path, and but I think it's just great to like provide more platforms for people to develop on, and especially if you can bring a little piece of the cloud onto your desktop, do development on that, and then because there's all these other clouds, there's like Vultr, and these other companies that are doing like very NVIDIA dedicated, I would say micro clouds, but other, not hyperscalers, and that's becoming pretty prevalent. So you need development for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really cool though, it's like, at GTC you brought up Groot, they announced the new Cosmos world models, as Jensen calls them. Those are all, it's nice packaging of things that they've been working on for quite some time, so, and there's no doubt they put together some really cool tool chains. We'll just see how that influences what we're going to see in 2020.
Yeah.
Is it 2026? Oh my God.
Way out there, man.
I'm still in 2024, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I haven't left.
Hard to believe.
No, maybe it'll take like a couple of months for me to ease my way
every time you write the check, you know, you got
oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. It's always a good, interesting glimpse of the future here, and a little bit of craziness, thrown in. So,
and oh, by the way, CES is no longer a car show.
Yeah, no, I would say that. That's true.
Not a car show.
No, it's a vacuum show.
Yeah.
All about vacuums.
And ag tech.
Ad tech, okay.
Yeah.
I also saw, the other thing I saw too.
The low-hanging fruit of autonomous. Basically, a vehicle that can navigate in a big field where the probability of hitting a kid is very low.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing I saw that was kind of cool was like these big speakers, big party speakers with the lights.
Man,
everyone had those, and it's like, and what's cool is you can,
out in the wrong
you could sing, and it'll take the voice out of the track, so it's like almost like a karaoke.
Oh yeah.
But there's like I saw it from Klipsch, like high quality stuff.
Yeah.
And these big party speakers is like the thing now. The lights and the things.
Yeah.
That was a trend.
That's not generative AI, people.
Absolutely
That's
not.
Old school. Actually, the stuff works really well.
I would say audio ML though. It's audio ML.
Audio ML. There you
audio
go.
ML, which is like a hot thing.
Yeah. Keep it straight. We're trying to keep it.
Not generative AI. Audio ML.
Yeah.
Very good.
Don't get too excited.
No. It's cool though.
But hey, props to all the ML guys, like the classical guys that busted their butts trying to make all this stuff work.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the stuff that actually works.
Yeah. And so, what else?
I saw the Zoox cab from Amazon. It's pretty cool. Like that little boxy thing. I think they're driving around Vegas actually.
Yeah.
So there's some autonomous vehicles, but yeah, not as many like cool cars and like car audio.
Okay, so here's the weird thing about automotive.
Actually, I met a guy from Prestone here.
Really?
Yeah, the antifreeze. So look out for new Prestone antifreeze coming out.
Intelligent coolant.
That's right.
Are they putting like smart dust in it so they can?
I don't know, man.
Okay, weird.
He had a very busy schedule of meetings. So.
But no. One of the interesting things about automotive, I mean, it hasn't disappeared. It's there definitely. SDV, software-defined vehicle. Yes, there are companies out there that are actually. I think they're more like SIs that are trying to position, or they are positioning themselves to help OEMs, or car manufacturers to make that transition, which has been a bit more difficult or slower than a lot of people thought.
Project.
But a lot of testing. So cyber physical testing, not just like the digital simulation stuff, but like guys like Keysight, and then on the physical side, because they do test and measurement. So they have all these solutions that they're offering to help automakers and as well as component manufacturers to test their equipment that might go into, let's say, a advanced ADAS, enabled smarter vehicle.
Right.
And then you have like guys like Ansys here, which I was kind of surprised to see them, that provide a lot of that, physics models and all that, and simulations that Rick Bellotta always talks about, and which he would talk about if he ever friggin' showed up on the show, and he's like one of the original guys. So everybody, ping the dude, basically spam his ass.
There you go.
And tell him to hurry up and get on IoT Coffee Talk. He had an excuse, and he has to stop making excuses.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
Anything else?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, you mentioned you did like 125,000 steps or whatever, but I only did like 20,000 steps. So
my feet hurt.
I know. Yeah, it's like always a good test of your footwear when you come to CES, but No, it's been a good show. It's good progress. So
Yeah.
we'll see what sticks.
Yeah. So everybody, Happy New Year. I don't think we said that, but we said it on the regular episode, which I don't know, for better or worse, Rob kicked off with like friggin' yacht rock.
Yeah, it was a little change of
I
pace.
don't know. That might be a bad omen to kick off the year with yacht rock.
He's obsessed with the Yacht
I
Rock
know.
documentary on Max.
Oh
Which,
my
by
God.
the way, is a really good documentary.
But hey, we're constantly trying to help kids K through 12 in communities that are underserved, unserved. These are kids K through 12. And, we're really dedicated in helping them participate in our digital future. And so, consider donating to Elevate Our Kids at www.elevateourkids.org.
Yep.
And also, like we always say, if you're not in a charity, okay, but you really love fashion, make sure to pick up some IoT merch. And I think Stephanie actually is making available Elevate Our Kids merch as well. So, help a kid out. We're also collaborating and partnering with T-Mobile to combine devices with connectivity. And so these are going to be things that are really going to be helpful for these kids who are not connected and also don't have a device. So we'll appreciate that. And also make sure to continue to watch us here on IoT Coffee Talk and subscribe. www.iotcoffeetalk.
Hit the button.
Click the button. And live from, she's asking us if we're going to have another drink. But live from CES 2025 here in Las Vegas, it's Pete Bernard, my good buddy here.
Leonard Lee.
Leonard Lee. And we are signing off.
All right.